glad to have you back on Nigeria Decides on Plus TV Africa. Countdown to the 2019 election. It is 21 days to the general election, and there's been a few surprises this week. From the swearing-in of a new Chief Justice of Nigeria just this evening to Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili of the ACPN stepping down yesterday.
On Thursday, presidential candidate, former governor of Cross River State and embattled presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Mr. Donald Duke, had been reinstated as the rightful presidential candidate of the SDP. What happens to Jerry Ghana now is the big question. And of course, how does the party move forward? What is going to be the next move? Joining us now, we have Mr. Adetokunbo Pearse. He is the gubernatorial candidate for the Social Democratic Party here in Lagos State. And we still have with us Nejeeb Bello. He's a public affairs analyst. Good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. The first question, obviously, is what do you make of all of this saga? We'd like to call it a saga because it looks like a movie that is unfolding bit by bit. I'll start with you, Mr. Pearse, because you are a party member. And the last time we were here, I remember quizzing you on some of the things that I did not find, that they didn't sit well as per the SDP and the coalition. But now you have Donald Duke back as your flag bearer. What's the next step?
Well, we'll see how far Donald can build his campaign in the next few weeks. And we'll also wait for the national of our party, Social Democratic parties, to tell us specifically what to do, how to prepare for the days ahead.
But then, how do you feel as a party member? You are the governorship flag bearer of the party in Lagos. I'm sure that many people have come to you to ask questions. What is going on in your party? There seems to, it's as if the center isn't holding. So how would you react to that?
Well, you know that in every general election such as this, the states depend on the national body and the presidential candidate for a lot of logistical support. I think you used impress in your last. We didn't know where that was coming from. After the convention, which Donald Duke won, a democratic, open, fair process.
That was in October 2018.
Yes. And after that, we thought everything was in order and we were going to start campaigning, but unfortunately, the Jerry Ghana lawsuit came in and we were stalled. We couldn't move forward. It's not been good for the party, certainly. But
you did mention that the last time we had you here that you were going to join forces with the CUPP. Does all of that change now? I'm going to come to you, Nejeeb, but does all of that change now? Because I remember saying, you have a case in court. Why join forces with the CUPP? I mean, I don't know if the SDP is going to have their name or their logo on the ballot paper. So what happens to all of that?
Well, the CUPP arrangement does not change because of this. Donald Duke, as a flag bearer of the Social Democratic Party, is also a member of that understanding. So we'll see how it all works out. The details will be worked out at the national level. But whatever we do, we are all going to work together. The purpose of the CUPP is to assure that Muhammadu Buhari does not win this election in 2019.
Okay, let me come to you, Nejeeb, now. We know the man Donald Duke and how he had to move over from the PDP. He defected to the SDP, hoping that it would be safe landing, and now he's having to go through all of this. How does this court case coming at this time, just 21 days to the election, affect his chances?
Well, it greatly affects his chances because he has lost time. The time that his opponents have used in campaigning very furiously, he's wasted it in fighting Jerry Ghana and others in court. So it has taken a lot of his time, and I don't think it's something he can get back. I don't think his campaign can just go back full steam with any possibility of racking up the kind of votes he would have gotten if everything had moved smoothly without the court cases.
Would you differ from that, sir? Because now you are the governorship candidate of the SDP in Lagos. So whatever happens at the center will definitely affect your own chances, wouldn't it?
I told you earlier it's affected us terribly because from about a week after the convention, we should have got into full gear, start preparing for the general election. We couldn't because very shortly after that, the case came in from, the challenge came in from Professor Jerry Garner. So definitely, those days that have been lost and coming up now with just barely 3 weeks before the election, does not augur well for us at all, and it's going to be a very, very difficult challenge.
Nejeeb, in Lagos, I hear that party members of the SDP want the court order to be obeyed, and which is more like echoing what Mr. Pearse here is saying. They're asking for their leaders at the center to do this in order to have a united, peaceful family going forward so that it doesn't affect this election. Why do you think there's so much division in the SDP of all parties, that seem to have had a united front? And what is Jerry Garner's gain in this division?
Course, yes, Jerry Garner's game is difficult to understand unless you want to put a simplistic view that he could be a mole they are sent to scuttle their chances. I've seen this across many parties. Some parties are working for other bigger parties. That's the way I see. And they have people there who are given the duty to stop progress, because I did not see any chance of Jerry Garner maybe even getting up to 20,000 votes in the elections. I didn't even see any chance. Even when the SDP came forward and I saw he was contesting against Donald Duke, I didn't expect him to win. I didn't expect him to get up to 600 votes. So it was surprising to me that he had so many hundreds of votes.
But could it be that he's just trying again?
No, there's nothing for Jerry Garner to try. And there's nothing for him to try.
Mr.
I feel, just like the ACPN, they are internal squabbles. So I think this is the internal squabbles that was supposed to just end the move by Donald Duke to become president. I think that's what happened.
Mr. Pearse, do you think that this would affect your chances generally in the election?
No, not generally. The way the Social Democratic Party works, each state is virtually independent. What we decide in our state is what will be accepted at the national. Yes, the presidency has affected us because of the logistics and the moral support, the financial support, and so on. But that is not going to change the support we are going to get for our governorship candidates, as reps and assembly candidates. I don't think so. But Professor Jerry Garner, in my own opinion, went to court because he truly believed that the Constitution was on his side. I can tell you this because I was also in the PDP. I was the spokesperson for Professor Tunde Adeniran, who was contesting the national chairmanship of the PDP
at the time.
So we came into the Social Democratic Party together. Jerry Garner is one of our leaders that came from the PDP for various reasons. What happened at the convention was that he was surprised that he would lose. But contrary to what you were saying, our original plan coming into the Social Democratic Party was that we hoped that a middle belt candidate would emerge from the Social Democratic Party. That would have cut through the control of the northern candidate. Imagine if a middle belt candidate had won the North Central, out of the 6 states, there are 4 or 5 states, and then won the Christian North, Adamawa, Taraba, and a few other, Bauchi, Gombe, even a few places. That was our main plan. Unfortunately, so that we were poised as the third force to win this election. Unfortunately, Jerry Gana or other middle belt candidates did not win the primaries. And so, according to Jerry Gana, it was the Constitution that said, according to his reading of it, that if we have a national chairman from the South, the candidate cannot be from the South
as well.
And so it was not as if it was a mole or a plant. I don't think so.
Well, this is still unfolding, and of course, like every other issue in the election season, we'll definitely update you on what is going on in the SDP. We know that the Court of Appeal has ruled, but then will there be a counter ruling? We are watching. Well, you can tell us what you think of the SDP saga on our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. We've been talking with Adetokunbo Pearse. He is the gubernatorial candidate of the SDP in Lagos. Thank you for joining us. And we've also had Nejeeb Bello, public affairs analyst. Thank you as always for coming.
Thank you.
Nigeria Decides continues after this break. Of course, we'll bring you a news update in just a moment.
Stay with us.